Alright, now we're ready for step 2 in our hundertwasser building. So, what we're going to do is we are going to go over here and we're going to make a new layer. I'm clicking on and off the layer palette tool. Layers is going to really give us a lot of options for creativity and organization in the program. To create a new layer, I'm going to come up here. This is the create a new layer icon. It kind of looks like a new page. This is common in a lot of applications, especially Adobe. So let's create a new layer and see what happens. Okay, so now we have a blank layer and it is above the background layer. You'll notice the checkered background. In Photoshop Elements, this is to signify that it is a transparent area. When you see the checkered background, you'll know that it is not a solid area. So once we've got that, the next step is to come over here and click on our magnifying glass. We want to shrink down the area that we're going to work in because this will make using our brush a whole lot easier. Okay, so I've shrunk this down to about 41%. You can see all four sides of your composition, and like I said, it's going to be a whole lot easier to paint and make lines. Over here we have the color palette. If we want to go to default colors, we can click down here on these two boxes in the bottom left corner. Some of the students in the past have been a little confused as to how to switch the foreground and background colors. If you click here on these arrows on the upper right corner, you'll notice that you can switch foreground and background. The next step that we're going to do is to select our brush. You can click on B on your keyboard if you like keyboard commands, or you can click on the icon. Okay, so now we're going over here to brush settings, and we are going to set the roundness down. And what this does is it's going to swoosh the round brush into an oval. This is going to give us a kind of a calligraphic looking brush, which will give us very expressive lines. So I'm setting this to about 46, 45, somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be dead on. And once I've got that set, I can come over to here, close that window. My pixel size on the brush is set to about 43. That's a pretty good size. So if we wanted to start painting, one thing we need to keep in mind with the assignment is that we're going to put a sky in. And to make sure that we have enough room for the sky, we need to make sure that our roof line doesn't go all the way to the top of the image up here. We want to keep it down, maybe in about a quarter of the image. So hundertwasser really liked the irregular roof lines. Okay, he did all kinds of crazy stuff. He had domes. He had different ways of working with his structure. So that, I think, will give us enough room so that we can actually see how our sky is going to look. From here, we can move on and we can give it some more expressive lines. Definitely not straight, because hundertwasser was not a straight line kind of a guy. And he was not all that precise either. He was very free form, and he really liked biomorphic forms. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to just kind of give these a little bit of a wavy line and move ahead like this. And if you want, you can do something crazy like that, or you can come across. You may have designed your building on paper, and if you want to recreate that and take some extra time, I think that's going to give you a much better product. But for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just kind of working through this and designing on the computer as I go. So now if you'll notice, look over here. You can see that it's still transparent, but there is no color in this. This is going to be the framework for our building, and this is going to be a very important part of what we're looking for when we examine your files to see what kind of level of mastery you're on. So that's going to conclude this portion of the example.